We are told that Mutola and Mwambi were to be selected as members of a netball team. The probability of selecting Mutola is 7 over 8, and that of selecting Mwambi is 9 over 10. Find the probability that 1, only one of them is selected, 2, none of them is selected. So we are going to handle it in this way. First of all, usually for me, what I do is that I do what is called a table of information. I just call it that for myself. A table of information. And so what is this table? This table have two. Here we have Mutola. And on the other side, we have Mwambi. So what about these two people? Okay. So for the two people, each one has two options. What are the options? There is being selected or not selected. Also, Mwambi also has selected, not selected. Now, using the information that we've got down there, that we've got up there, is that the probability of being selected is 7 over 8. For Mwambi, this probability is 9 over 10. So what is the probability of not being selected for Mutola? Now, when you look at this one, this is over 8. And then the numerator is 7 over 1. It's 1 less 8. So the probability of not being selected is 1 over 8. The same applies to Mwambi. The probability of selected is 9 over 10. The denominator is 10 and then 9. So there is 1 less, meaning the probability of not being selected is 1 over what? Over 10. So this is what I call a table of information. And so I'm going to use this now to answer the question. So when only one of them is selected. Now take note that we are not told who is selected. We are only saying told only one is selected. This means that both Mutola and Mwambi, they have a chance of being selected. So because they have a chance of being selected, we're going to calculate the probability of selecting Mutola. So the probability of selecting Mutola, let's call it M, is equal to 7 over 8 multiplied by 1 over 10. Now you may ask, but why 1 over 10? The issue is that if Mutola is selected, then Mwambi is not selected. So we multiply with the probability of not being selected. Okay, and that gives us 7 over 80. Okay, now if it is Mwambi who has been selected, then the probability will be 9 over 10, then multiplied by 1 over 8, which gives us 9 over 80. These are the probabilities. So to find out the probability of only one is selected, we just add these two probabilities, 7 over 80 plus 9 over 80. And so we get 7 plus 9 is 16 out of what? 80. 16 can go into 80. So 16 to 16 is 1 over 16 to 80 is what? It's 5. So this is the probability of only having one person between these two being selected. The second part of the question says none of them is selected. None of them is selected. So what are we saying here? None of them is selected. We come back to the issue. So what's the probability of not selecting Mutola? So the probability of not selecting Mutola, we are going to write it like this with a bar on top. In probability, this means not selected, not. And so that gives us, for Mutola, it's 1/8. And then for Mwambi also, the probability of not being selected like that is equal to 1/10. And so we're going to say that the probability of none of them is selected. It's going to be 1/8 multiplied by 1/10. And so this gives us 1 out of what? 80. And that is our probability.